Great to see all of the contenders geared up for the fight. Certainly a tough race ahead of them. All three engine brands represented on this starting grid, of course. Yannick, Rotax and Rock, all represented in this Junior 125 class. And it really does bring together the best of all three of the engine manufacturers. Well, the lights are going to come on, the drivers will end up in their positions on the grid. And for the pole sitter, Bernardo Ravnas of Iceland, alongside Adrian Mikkelsen, it's going to be a brilliant charge forward. Fans of the girls will be keeping an eye on Jenny Nordvang and Mia Berg in this race, both in the top 10 and both with a great chance to take a victory over the course of the three qualifying heats. So all the 31 drivers will come out of the hairpin. Hopefully he'll be strong. We also want to keep an eye on Vebjørn Glenda, the FIA Karting Academy Trophy representative for Norway on the world stage. Back again this weekend, quite a few racing drivers taking time out of their busy car and kart international race schedule to come here and play in the Norwegian Championships. As out of the final turn, Benedor Ravnas in the Sony on the inside. The Kart Republic of Adrian Mikkelsen on the outside. We wait for the drivers in the sides. They are good together and we are going to go racing here at Varna. Great start for Benedor Ravnas up to the inside. There's already cars come on. Benedor Ravnas is gone. Benedor Ravnas slides around on the inside line, I think it is. No, it's one of the other Sonys that's gone. It's Lovshus. Lovshus went up in the air. Lovshus spun around. So it's Benedor Ravnas still leading from Jenny Nordvang. There's an off in the first turn. There's several karts that have gone off the road, at least 5 of them. So a big disaster on the first lap. Several karts taken to the first turn, and it is a slow zone up on the first turn already. So the slow zone has been called up on the first corner because several karts are off the racetrack. Jenny Nordvang running through in second position behind the race leader, but it is slow zone to the first corner. Slow zone called. Oh, and Jenny Nordvang doesn't realise it's slow zone until it's too late. Cars really needing to slide and stop. Oh, goodness me. Drivers not realising that the slow zone boards were out until it's too late. And we've got the CS55 slide off the road in the first turn. Not good news indeed, as the drivers were not alert to the situation in time there. So the CS55 of Theo Svensson slides off the road and out of the race. He didn't realise it was slow zone around the course. But the digital boards were indeed showing slow zones around, so it's Benedor Ravnas from Jenny Nordvang who actually ran the back of Benedor Ravnas' cart. I hope that the front fairing hasn't come loose, because that would be devastating for her. But there are several karts that are off from the first lap incident. Adrian Mikkelsen, Lucas Emil Lofshus, Theodor Sætre Olofsen, Thomas Vigge Norway, Christian Bjørgen, Eskil Amund and Oscar van Berntsen all gone on the very first lap of the race. Catastrophic 7 retirements on the first corner, and that really does blow the weekend wide open in Junior 125. So many big names gone from the first start. And on the restart, of course, it means that it's going to be Benedor Ravnas from Jenny Nordvang, and in third place, Christopher Melhus from Million Everett Sandvik. Theo Svensson now gone from the race as well, of course, after his spin, trying to slow down for the slow zone. But the digiboards were showing slow zone all the way around the main straight, so the drivers really should have been alert to that. So, disaster as 2 laps of slow zone comes through on the board then. So it is Benedor Ravnas from Jenny Nordvang, Christopher Melhus, Million Everett Sandvik, and then it is Marcus Pauli Rangard, Vebjørn Glenda, Dominic Obsal, Matthias Lindjokerud, Magnus Praten and Mia Berg in the top 10 from Thomas Lidved Tofsen, and then Philip Slatlem, Ori Odegaard from Tobias Andersen, then it's Julian Dalheim Lee, Jacob Offenberger is 16th in front of Sander Stollen, then Christian Opsal, Leander Fortune and Julian Hermansen from Silas Savred Ellefsen. Philip Runda is down to 22nd, and then it is Lucas Volstad Antonsen in 23rd. No other runners. We've lost Theo Svensson, Adrian Mikkelsen, Lucas Emil Lofshus, Theodor Sætre Olofsen, Thomas Vigge, Christian Bjørgen, Eskil Amund and Oscar van Berntsen, all gone in the first 2 laps of racing. Big drama here at Varna. So Jenny Nordvang running in second position as a result of all of that. Very good reactions from her off the start. But I do worry about that front fairing. She did nerf the back of Benedor Ravnas' kart on the main straight as they all slowed for the slow zone. So hopefully her kart is not damaged. And she wasn't the only one. Several other karts getting involved in incidents as they slammed on the brakes too. Theo Svensson running off the road. So the contenders are now trying to work their way forward as we go to slow zone conditions for a third lap. The marshals obviously trying to ensure that the race circuit is safe before we race again, and also to ensure that everybody is on the same page, because there were quite a few contenders out of position there initially. So good to see now that we're going to have all of the contenders in good stead around the course. So all of the contenders now getting themselves lined up. I'm hoping that we're going to go for a decent start on the second attempt now. The slow zone awards will be withdrawn once everybody is out of harm's way. Quite a lot of karts, of course, to recover in that first corner. So a lot of work from the marshals. Great thanks to all of the marshals on the safety team. We cannot race at all without them, of course. So we are very much indebted to them. We're waiting for the call for green flags. Tia Stenson walking back to the infield. He needs to be by a marshal post, really. At the disastrous start for Junior 125. So many karts involved in that one. Hopefully we can go racing again under green conditions very soon indeed, but we're still waiting for the marshals to finish their work at the first turn. When you've got 7 karts off the road in the first sector, it's always going to be pretty tricky. So the slow zone board's still out. A couple of drivers just trying to nurse their karts at the moment. Looks like a couple of them have got a bit of damage from avoiding the incident. So now it's all going to come down to who's going to take the best situation out of the advantage that has been given. Looks like another car has actually come to a stop a little bit further around. That's the Tony car that's come to a stop. Well, that's Lucas Volstad Ankenson, I think. So Lucas Volstad coming to a stop as well. Big problems for him then. It looks as though he's had a bit of a difficulty off the start. So Lucas Volstad in some trouble. That's unfortunate. He really wanted to get a better race than that. So the Tony car involved in an incident or two on the first lap, I think, but unfortunately got tagged in all that, and so did not have the car in a stable position enough to continue racing. Hopefully no. The slow zone is ending now, so the slow zone is ending. I can see that on the digiboards. So slow zone ending, and that means that we will go green this time by. So for the race leader, Venedor Ravnas from Jenny Nordvang and Christopher Melhus ahead of Alfred, Portley and Glenda. We're going to go green, 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 and back to racing we go once again then here at Varna. Drivers charging their way through the first corners, 10 laps to go. And it is green flag conditions, racing conditions in Junior 125 as Ravnas has got himself a great start. There's already a big battle for second position and Nordvang's getting a knock on the floor from behind. That is Melhus and Alfred Sandbeck already trying to challenge Jenny Nordvang, who is in second position. She wants to hold the line. She does so through the hairpin as they work their way through Shanka and then under the bridge, up and over the top of the crest. Looks like it's over the inside line. Is that the third position? I think it might be. Jenny Nordvang, oh, it's the second place. Nordvang's already down to P5. Wrestled around by the other competitors a little bit there. But Venedor Ravnas able to extend the lead up front. The Icelandic driver charging away. Second place for Christopher Melhus. Then it is Miljan Alfred Sandbeck, who has come up into third position, I believe, the number 50. And then it is Marcus Pauli Rangard from Jenny Nordvang, Dominic Opsal, then Glenda, Linn Jokkerud, Brenton and Mia Berger. Good battles in the early stages, but Venedor Ravnas has really started to put on a bit of speed here, and the Saudi drivers already extending from the drivers further back. As Jenny Nordvang has lost another position, this time it is to Dominic Opsal on the 88. The CRG has got in front, I believe. As they went through the hairpin and up to the crest once again. Very good work indeed. Onto the inside line. That's a good overtaking move there from the 193. That is Matthias Linn Jokkerud getting on the inside of Vivian Glenda. Glenda's going to get through on the inside, and Linn Jokkerud loses 4 places there. Going around the outside, he drops back behind Mia Berger. He got onto the marbles, and the back end slides out. Very easily done, of course, but certainly no easier to take once you have gone sideways. Very tricky, and so for poor Linn Jokkerud, that is not what he needed. Down to 10th position as he gets onto the marbles and slides out sideways. Drivers trying to work their way through the hairpin. And in close proximity, the battle's still raging between them all. Drivers trying to cut their way through to this over the battle of second really is on now between Christopher Melhus and Miljan Alfred Sandbeck. So Miljan Alfred Sandbeck, who's in the Team Pro Karting Factory Racing Squad, trying to make his way through on the DR as he comes through on the inside of the energy course of Christopher Melhus, trying to look for that inside line. Not easy to make a play. and certainly trying his best to make the overtaking move come his way. It's going to be tricky. On the way up the crest, on the inside line, looking for the gap on the inside. Million average Sunday can't quite make it through to second position. Really hungry though to make that overtaking move on the inside of the energy course. He just can't quite get the inside line. Fourth place for Dominic Onsal. He and Jenny Northbank have both got into the top 5 again. One again from those two, but they've pulled away from the top of the 6th position. Currently there by the Pirelli. That is number Paulie Rangard. So Paulie Rangard doing a good job in front of Vegel Glenda. 1-2-2 is next up. That's the Czech Republic of Magnus Braten. Then it's Mia Berger, Mathias Jokerud, from Lindebert, Odegaard, Slatlam, Offenberget, and Julian Dalham Lee. 6 laps to go. And certainly for Benedor Ravnas, the Icelandic up front, it's looking so strong. As he continues battling away for supremacy, down the drop and up towards Shankar. Vegel Glenda's desperately trying to get through on the inside of Marcus Paulie. Braten and Jokerud are working hard as well. Jokerud having got through past Mia Berger. Now on the inside, Vegel Glenda gets his move. A little bit sideways off the turn, but that's enough to make a clean overtaking move there. So Vegel Glenda under the 6th position. Good opportunistic move as he gets ahead of Marcus Paulie Rangard. Up to the hairpin. Great battles in the top 6. But there's a great train developing here as that is Mathias Jokerud up into 8th place now, past Magnus Braten and Mia Berger. So that's 8th position for the Charles Leclerc chassis. And we've got a nice train building up behind them as well. Thomas Lillebert in front of Jakob Offenberget and Ole Odegaard. They're all in the mix together. Philip Statman, Ian the Fortune, Julian Dalham Lee, and then it is Tobias Anderson, who is in front of Siberai, Stollen, Runda, Upsal, Julian Hermansen, and that is all. 22 cars only still running in this race. 31 started, 22 remaining. That's how high the efficient rate will be. Leader, Benedor Ravnas of Iceland. The Israeli driver doing a great job leading the way. What a star effort from Benedor Ravnas. Really excellent display from him thus far. 17 and 50, Christopher Melhus and Miljan Averil Sandek doing a great job. Dominic Opsal in 4th position. Jenny Nordbank P5 from Vegel Glenda. And then it is Braten, Jokerud, Berger and Lindebert. So Marcus Paulie Rangard, something's happened to Marcus Paulie Rangard. I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's dropped down the order. So Marcus Paulie Rangard has now fallen to the back with Philip Slatlev. So problems for those two. I can't make them out on the circuit anymore. I wonder if they've gone off the circuit out of sight. Certainly can't make out how much down at the back then. So already problems and 2 more retirements by the look of it. As sadly, Marcus Paulie Rangard and Philip Slatlev have not come through, so they're out of the race. We're trying to figure out where on the circuit those cars are, but I certainly can't see them at the moment. I wonder if they're off at turn 1. But certainly for Marcus Paulie Rangard, he was battling away up at the sharp end in the top 10, and so was Philip Slatlev. So I wonder if there's been another incident and those two have ended each other's race to a certain extent. All sorts of battles around the course and drivers looking for overtaking moves. But certainly for the Icelandic driver, Benedor Ravnas, who leads the way, looking good and putting himself into a dominant position up front. The 2nd place is still very tight, and in 4th place. So Melhus and Averil Sandvik battling for 2nd, Opsal and Nordbank battling for 4th. 2 laps to go, and there really is going to need to be a big push now from Jenny Nordbank, who's going to try and make the move on the inside of Dominic Opsal into the first hairpin. She can't make that stick yet, but Miljan Averil Sandvik is going to try and make his move to get through on Christopher Melhus for 2nd place on the energy course. Down to the new Shankar section of the course. Really tricky battle on the course then for the drivers as Jenny Nordbank again tries to attack. Dominic Opsal down to the headpin by the pit lane. Doesn't really move. Can't quite get there. She's looking for a bit up the escape on the far side. Jenny Nordbank looking very confident as she comes back up to this final turn. And into the last lap goes the leader, Benedor Ravnas on the Sony. Good challenge from Miljan Averil Sandvik. Still looking for that 2nd place to get through on Christopher Melhus. Up over the top of the crest, over the bridge. Looking for the run to the first couple of parts of the sector, and then through to the 2nd sector. Still very tricky, still not clear cut. Who's going to get this run? Diving down into the hairpin, there's only one chance to make that move. And it looks as though Jenny Nordbank's got into 4th place. She's made the bid and has gone through ahead of Dominic Opsahl. So Jenny Nordbank getting into 4th position in the closing stages. The checkered flag is ready and in the air as Benador Ravnas in the study is going to come through to get the checkered flag on the main straight. It is victorious. Varna study, Benador Ravnas gets the job done here at Varna. And 2nd place will just be Christopher Millius in front of Million Everett. Jenny Nordbank fights the 4th place in front of Dominic Opsahl. And then it's really close for 6th position further back. Goodness me, that was a very nail-biting end to the race there. As 3 cars came across the line pretty much together. It was Magnus Brafton who came through to 6th in the end, with Vivian Blender and Mattis Djokovic side by side. Mia Berger is 9th from Tollesfield then. Then it is Jacob Overveget from Ollie Odegaard, Leander Fortune, Julian Dalheim Lee, then Kenneth Runda, Thomas Anderson, Silas Severate, and then it is Sander Stoller, Julian Romanson, and Pierre Christian Opsahl. And that is 11 retirements in that race. A very tough battle all the way. Sadly, we lost Marcus Boy Vanguard, Philip Stadlen, Lucas Holstad, Theo Svensson, Adrian Mikkelsen, Lucas Emil Lofsus, Theodor Sætre Olesen, Thomas Dikke, Christian Bjorgen, Eskiel Albert, and Oscar van Beelsen. A fabulous race battle all the way, but in Junior 125 it is the pole sitter, Benador Ravnas of Iceland, that holds on to the lead after a very tough start to the day. It's going to be a long wait between races now because we've got 11 cars to rescue. Goodness me. Junior 125, very dramatic. All 4 road tests gets underway.
Geggjaði röstu mín. Til hamingju. Allt í góðu? Lendir þú í einhverju? Nei? Alright. En klesti hún Jenny aftan á þig þegar að slow zone var?
Ja, hun drar dytta meg.
Já. En náðu hún, þú veist, þið tóku ekkert eftir slow zone, enginn? Var það bara allt í einu?
Ja, man ser det så vidt på de alla skärmar.
Já, einmitt. Já. Vel gert, röstu mín.